Hey guys, happy Sunday. Whoa, lighting's all weird. 8 a.m. lighting, what's up? Anyway, I hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday. Definitely let me know what you guys have going on today. What do you have coming up for this week? And for many folks, we have Thanksgiving coming up this week here in the United States. So I know that many people are gathering with families. There's a lot of to do here around town, although it seems like they jumped straight from Halloween to Christmas and they've kind of passed Thanksgiving, but I know many are going to be gathering. And so before we continue, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can check out my website down below, kittensweightsandtarot.com. You can also check me out on the grams at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And hey, if you're looking for some witchy shit, definitely check out our Desert Cauldron shop over on Etsy. All one word. Those links are down below. And if you're looking for a way to support the channel, those links are down below as well. But I do want to give a hello, first and foremost, to one of our mighty moderators, Susie, who is here. She says, I will see you next week. I have to miss KWT. All right. We will catch you later, Susie. But to all my mighty moderators, thank you for being amazing. Thank you for all the people who have gotten readings and channelings with me, all of my subscribers. Thank you to all of my YouTube members, Kayla, Nancy, Astrid, Jolene, and Stormy Fever 58. And of course, to all of my patrons, Lily, Dana, Jamie, Kayla, Surian, Brandy, Jason, Brian, Karen, Lisa, Palu, Crystal, Easy Does It, Oz, Joel, Megan, and Casey Gritter. Thank you guys so much. All right, 1111 is here. Good morning, good morning. Angela said, blessed morning, Tara, and to our mods and beautiful chat today. I manifested you, angel hugs, and so much love and cake today. Amen. Amen, my friend. All righty, well, we have a very interesting live chat set up for you. My table is very full with stuff to show you, but first I'm going to have a little bit of water. Okay, so I put out the poll yesterday for what you guys wanted for today's live chat. I put the poll out for my YouTube members and for my patrons. So technically, if you're a YouTube member and a patron or either or, you get extra votes. So if there's something that you're really aching to see during a Sunday live chat, that's kind of one of the other little extra perks, of being a part of Patreon or YouTube. One of the other perks is actually getting a bonus channeling. So one of those bonus channelings recently, which was voted on by my YouTube members and Patreon, was a channeling on mermaids. That did not go how I thought that was going to go. James was like, well, that took a turn. So anyway, we'll eventually post that live for the rest of the general public after about a month or so. But these are little bonuses that you guys get for supporting the channel. So thank you. Lily is here. What up, my girl? Roots and waves. Hey. Okay, so according to what you guys voted for, you wanted to talk about gold and silver, more of the spirituality aspect. So it's kind of talking about the energy of it, maybe what can we do with it spiritually speaking. And then of course I want to talk about it in its 3D sense as well. But before we get to that, I would like to do the weekly reading first. And so if you would like to join in on the weekly reading, I'd say let me know what deck you're working with. If you're not working with a deck and you're just pulling down some messages, then let me know that you're doing that. Or maybe you're channeling, maybe you're using runes. I don't know.
You're not working with the full deck.
Oh, and if you're not working with full deck, that's okay too. All right. Well, okay. Angela says, blessings, roots and waves, and lilies, so many hugs, so much joy, and cake to you both. All right. I have a couple of new decks to show you guys. Just picked them up from the Post Hill office a couple of days ago. One of those is the Wild Woman Oracle by Cheyenne Zarate. And let me show you these cards. The cards look bronzy. It's kind of cool. So yeah, they have a bit of a shine to them, but like the actual coloration is kind of bronze, which I think is neat. And I love the art. That's why I got the deck, really. The art is pretty cool. James was thinking that maybe it would be rad to trim all this off and just leave it just the picture, since I read intuitively anyway. Just leave the picture here, and then I thought maybe we could edge it in black or something. That might be kind of cool. Or maybe even if we did purple. But yeah, what do you guys think? Angela's going to be slinging a few poems. I love your poems, Angela. Definitely sling away, sister. Okay, so this is one of the new decks. So I'll definitely use that when it comes time for our super chats and super stickers. I'll leave that one out. But I also have this one called the De La Luna Answers Oracle deck. And the creator of this deck, who is the lady that is on the front, created it based on all of her years doing readings for people and how many of the answers or healing advice was somewhat similar. So she kind of created an oracle deck around all of the answers, which is why it's called an answer deck. But it's very gold foily. So in the sun, this really sparkles super gold. And I thought that goes well with today's topic of gold and silver. So this deck goes perfectly. But it has gold foil on all of the images. The images are very simplistic, but then you have the little answer down at the bottom. So, hey, if you guys ever want me to do reviews of any of these decks, I'd be more than happy. There's one review I have to make, and that is for the horse oracle. So that is coming soon. All right, so that is the De La Luna answers. Again, I will keep this off to the side. All right, so let's pull some cards for this weekly reading. You got Angela's going to be slinging some poems over there. Maybe some of the other guys got some cards, or maybe you're just pulling down from your intuition, which is amazeballs as well. So I'm going to use the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot. This one isn't new. It's just one I wanted to use today. And I'm going to pair that with the Wild Woman Oracle. Lily, hey, how are you? Okay, so let's get those cards out. Let's slang away. Lily says, have I missed much? No, we were just kind of going over what we have for today, which is our weekly reading, of course, and the fact that I brought out all my gold and silver so we can have a little spiritual chat about gold and silver, both in the 3D sense and also in the how we can use it for healing sense. So, all right, tapping into that energy. Let's pull a few cards from the Sacred Bee. Let's do that. Okay, I'll move this there. And let's pull a card from the Wild Woman Oracle. Okay, let's see what we have. Ooh, we have the Two of Swords, and it says peace. Angela says, silver refuses infection. Gold refuses the rust of time. Resist negativity and pain. Don't let the world dull your shine. Amen. Yes. Lily says, glad you're feeling better. Yes, doing loads better. It was just a few-day purge the week before last. We're all good now. Let's see. We also have the Princess of Discs, which is like your Page of Pentacles. And we have the Devil. The Devil Man. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these together. Princess of Discs and our Two of Swords and the Devil. I love the collage images on this. And by the way, I thought it was funny that when I brought this out the other day, I had it on the table outside. All these bees showed up, and the bees were all they were like literally walking all over this picture of a flower. They were trying to get to anything that was yellow. So they were like going after my yellow shoes. They were going after this yellow flower. I was like, I should have gotten a picture of the literal bees on top of the Sacred Bee tarot. Okay, so let's put them together. Okay, so this is more of something to reflect upon this week, something that perhaps you could meditate on or journal about, just something to go into. And it's looking at the things that we want to manifest, the things we want to bring into our life, whether it's physical objects, maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's people, situations, um, and what we may be giving our power away to in order to obtain that thing or that situation or that feeling, that person, and just having a little look into it. So, no judgment at all. In fact, it's just good for us to look at all of the areas in our life where maybe we give our power away. So, whether that giving a power away is in the form of money, or maybe I say, I can't do this thing without this person, or maybe I say, I can't possibly manifest this other thing without this particular type of job. Just having a look at it, sitting with it, maybe how we came to that conclusion. Why do I feel that money in this, world that we live in is the only way to get me from A to B? Why do I feel that this job I have is the only way for me to get to A to B, or this person that I'm with? And just journaling it, meditating with it. Where did that idea come from? Where did that programming come from? And again, not judging the self. Sometimes I think when we come down pretty hard on ourselves, or we say, man, I don't know why I'm doing that, or it makes me feel bad about myself. Remember that that's just the ego. If the ego's feeling bad about itself, it's showing you exactly where you need to heal. All of our emotions come up for a reason. That's why it's so important for us to honor our emotions. If I'm feeling bad about something, or like ashamed, where are these feelings of bad and feeling ashamed actually coming from? And it could be stemming from something in childhood, something I watched my parents do, and now I've taken it on as my own. Maybe for my parents, for them, having a good job and making lots of money was the only way for them to feel happy, or to feel like they could manifest things in their lives. And so they weren't trying to teach me anything maliciously. That was just their world. And that's how they, interacted in the world. And so now that's how I've taken it on. And now I can take a look at it and I say, do I want to continue having my world in this way, or do I want to change things? And if I want to change things, then I just have to go in and change my programming. I just have to go in and heal my traumas. And when we talk about traumas, we're not saying like capital T traumas, like I was in a major car accident, but smaller traumas. Like somebody says, you can't get up from the dinner table until you've eaten all of your food. Now, was anybody trying to be super malicious when they were saying that? No, it was just a programming from our parents. And then they say, you can't get up until you've eaten all your food off of your plate. And now we feel a certain way when it comes to food, or when it comes to someone else making us food. So it's just a little thing, and it's nice for us to be able to just look at things objectively from that higher perspective. And so this week, try and take the time out to look at things from that higher perspective. Why do I feel like I need this in order to get this? That's the thing. Okay, so now let's see what the wild woman has to say. And we have Yamaya. Yo, she came up recently in a channeling I did for someone. That is cool. It says, Mother of all divine care. Okay, so thinking about Yamaya's energy, thinking about, one who's living in the ocean, one with the flow. We always say, go with the flow, and all of this. If she were to say, the only way I could get from here to there is I need, to ride a dolphin to get me over there, or I need a certain number of seashells to pay my way, to get over there. Things would maybe appear less magical. But the reason we like gods and goddesses, which really are just a reflection of ourselves, is because of how it feels magical, that they just make things happen. They just magically manifest. But, the real thing is, we are those gods and goddesses. We are all those beings that we say, wow, they're so magical and so cool. but they're outside of myself. But that's just not true. They're not outside of you. They are within you. So Yamaya, all these gods and goddesses that seem super magical because they just make things happen, but you could just make things happen. Sure, in the 3D world, it says that there are certain things that are impossible. But sure, according to the Matrix, a lot of things are impossible. But there's a lot of stuff that is not Matrix here. And a lot of that is our souls. Our souls are not the Matrix. So they are not bound by the rules of the Matrix. I'll actually give you guys an example of the other day. James and I were in town, and we're dropping stuff off at the post office, and we had a couple of errands to run. I had to run by the bank and everything before we came back home. And when we went into town, James was like, "Oh, we're coming in at the lunch rush hour. Everything's going to be busy." And I didn't want it to be busy. And I was like, "No, it's not. Everything's going to be just fine." So we start heading towards the post office, and he's like, "Oh, like lunch rush at the post office." And I was like, it's great. I'm just going to walk right up. Guess what happened? There weren't many cars in the parking lot. As I'm walking up to the counter, there's a postal office guy walking towards the counter. Is like, "Can I help you?" And everybody was in a super jolly, happy mood. The guy next to me was complimenting me on my boots, and he was like making jokes and everything, and it was fun. And then I was like, okay. And it was just people on the street were just like, "Hello, hi," like random folks. Everyone was just so jolly, so happy. There was people like rushing to get the door for me, and all the places we were going. I was like, whoa. I went to the bank to pull some cash. I like to have some emergency cash on hand. And the numbers had changed in my bank account. Now, I looked at maybe something could have changed the numbers. Perhaps something else got deposited, or maybe a deposit from PayPal or something like that. But no, the numbers had not, there was no extra deposits. It was just the numbers had changed because I secretly wanted the numbers to change. And so they did change. And then we're driving along, and Hotel California by the Eagles starts playing on the radio because I have my phone hooked up to the radio. So it's playing my MP3s. And so James is like, "Oh, you know what? I never liked basically the lead singer of the Eagles singing Hotel California." He says, "I like when the Gypsy Kings did it." And I was like, I think about it, I was like, I guess this voice kind of is annoying. And at that moment, the song stops, and I'm looking at my radio, I'm driving, and it's just paused. Like the song paused, like 5 Mississippis later, the song pops off, and a song by Dead Mouse comes on, for those of you that like EDM. And James loves Dead Mouse. I love Dead Mouse. And so that song started playing. We're like, "Oh, this is better." Like, I was like, "James, you literally changed the radio station. Like, we did it." So yeah, things that are seemingly impossible can be possible. And for us, things have been getting real weird. I mean, like weird as in not normal for the Matrix, but I guess like it wouldn't be weird outside of the Matrix. But anyway, things are getting weird in a really cool way. So keep that in mind when you are reflecting this week about what is and is not possible to get you from A to B. And do you even want to go to B? Why do you want to go to B? What has come up to make you think that that is the place you want to go? And maybe you truly want to go there because your heart wants to go there. That's fabulous, but at least have a check-in about it, and have a little check-in about what makes you believe that you need that certain thing to get there. So just a little something to think about. All right, let me go back here. Roots and Waves had also pulled the Two of Swords as well. Oh, Angela said, "Fun fact, silver doesn't hold bacteria because bacteria doesn't like it." Oh, really? That is a fun fact. I did not know. She said, "So an interesting thought. All the myths of thugs being harmed by, or bugs being harmed by silver, were they being hurt or were they being healed from it and actually just not feeling well? Mirrors were once backed with silver, which is why Dracula has no reflection in the book." That I remember. That is cool. Angela said, "Maybe we should do a Take Back Our Power meditation." That would be cool. Angela, if you are still here by the end of the live chat, please remind me because I want to do that for our channel meditation at the end. I think that's a great idea. I love it. I'm on board with it. Taking back your power. That's like my thing. Angela says, praise all the divine mothers and fathers, guides and guardians today. We see you. We love you. Thank you for taking care of us each day. Amen. And she says, ooh, love that you manifested good things. Lily says, bruh, instant manifesting is amazing. Yes. Let's see. Kaplan was saying I was served with a legal letter of sorts last week. The deadline was November 24th. I thought it needs to be the 28th. Next time I looked, it was the 28th. See, dude, the Matrix is like, Shadowlands, AA, and just says, yay, will do. Also, sorry if I'm talking too much, just excited. No, I love this. I love when people are sharing. This is great. Okay, so again, if you guys want to continue doing some messages for the weekly reading, please continue doing so. Don't mind me as I start talking a little bit about gold and silver. I guess whoa, that's like an interesting camera angle. But okay, I'll move the camera like that when I have some silver to show you or some gold. Okay, so first things first, I have a little, I guess this is not that little, but this is 3 ounces of 0.999 fine silver. I like poured silvers especially because I like to touch them. Of course, there are some people that don't like to touch their silver because eventually over time, the oils from your fingers do cause it to discolor. But I kind of like the discolorations. I like the rainbows and how it starts to look like oil and water. You know, when it rains and things get oily and they turn kind of rainbowy. That's the kind of discoloration we're talking about. Some people actually pay for discolored coins because it's more coveted. Some people will pay more to have no coloration, you know, so that it's not been, you know, touched. So there are a couple of pieces that I do touch with my little grubby hands, and there are some that I just don't because I don't want the air to get to them. I want them to kind of retain their value in some respect. So, okay, we'll talk about the 3D and then we'll go into the spiritual. Okay, so in 3D, gold and silver have been doing quite the dance this year. I mean, silver has always been kind of volatile. You know, it's either up or it's down. It's up and it's down. And it seems to have these kind of wild swings to it. There are many that believe that silver is being artificially kept down, that its price is actually much more valuable, but they believe that, you know, the government or shadow government or whoever it might be is keeping the price down. Now, silver is actually used in solar panels. It's used in the medical field. It's used for buildings. It's used in electronics. Silver's used industrially for a lot of things. So it's not just in jewelry. Like actually, I'm wearing a silver necklace from what's her name? Wilder Creations. So I have my little Gemini, Libra, Scorpio, you know, my sun, moon, rising. So this is actually silver, but silver jewelry is not like poured silver here or silver coins such as this, or sorry, silver round. That's a silver round. I have a silver coin, which is somewhere. I have my coins here somewhere. Hold on. Oh, here's a silver coin. Okay. Silver coin meaning you could actually use that as money because it's actual money. It just happens to be solid silver, almost solid silver. A round is something that looks like a coin, but it has no real numeric value to it. The only real value to it is the spot price for silver at the time. Now, will you actually get spot price? Like let's say the spot price today, I think going into the weekend, it was like $31 an ounce, 31 something an ounce. This is an ounce of silver. It doesn't mean I'm actually going to get 31 something dollars if I go to a bullion dealer, because they want to be able to make money. So they'll probably give me something just under spot. Now, there are some people that will pay spot for it, but they might give me like $28, $29 for this instead of the $31 dollars. But, I guess it depends on the bullion dealer. And then if you go to a bullion shop, they won't sell you something for spot. If this were sold in a shop, they wouldn't sell it for 31 something dollars. They'd probably sell it for like $34 or $35. So you always want to look at what they say. This is $5 over spot, or $2.99 over spot, or buy now, it's only $1.99 over spot. So there's these different bullion dealers that I like to do online. But it's interesting, in Arizona, and I think this is in other states too, they don't tax you on any gold and silver that you buy, because gold and silver technically you're just exchanging your money. So you're exchanging $5 for technically $5 worth of silver. You're $30 for $30 worth of silver. So it's a way of having something tangible for your money in case, let's say, the dollar tanks and paper money is no good except for making fires. Well, people still use silver, so now your money is in something that people can actually use, instead of it just being fire that like we said, can be turned into kindling our paper money. So So some people like to use it for, I don't know, apocalypse type thinking. Some people just like to stack it because their grandparents did it, their parents did it. It's just a way of like keeping their money safe. For me, I use it for like retirement. Instead of having my money in the bank for retirement, my money is in gold and silver for retirement. It's the same thing, except the bank doesn't have it. I have it. So it's tangible. It's in my hands. I can exchange it at, any time. Or, if I need to barter, there's that too. You probably wouldn't barter with gold, but you might barter with pieces of silver. So that's like a quick little thing on silver. Okay, so the same is for gold. Now, this year, at the beginning of the year, when I tapped in and I was doing my meditation and I was just trying to feel for the energy of this year, to me, I kept saying, like, before January started, this is going to be a gold year. Like 2024 is going to be a gold year. I didn't necessarily mean gold as in like physical gold. I was talking like the energy, like energetically, all I could see was gold. Like everything was just dripping in gold. Personally, I'm like not a person who wears gold, but I hadn't really worked with the energy of gold too much, but I began working with it this year, and spiritually speaking, I think that it's been amazing. But like I said, we'll get to that. Okay, so 3D, going back to the 3D about gold. Okay, so gold has done something interesting. This year, instead, there were people that were predicting that silver was going to take off, but it was actually gold that ended up doing rather well. We hit like 2 record highs, like all-time record highs for gold. And as we got closer to the election here in the United States, gold was just going up and up and up. And for a while, once the election was over, and even though our new president hasn't been sworn into office, gold kind of just was like humming there for a moment, and then now it's going back up again. So people at first thought, oh, maybe people are getting worried, about the economy. They're not sure, it depends on which leader we have in office, and, will our money be safe? For me, you guys know how I feel about leaders. I'm not really about giving my sovereignty away to people or things, and for me, like gold and silver, although while we were talking about having like a middleman, do I feel that I can manifest without my gold and silver? Yes, I do. Do I feel that there's still a part of me that doesn't have, that still is like, I'm not quite sure about my manifesting abilities? Sure, I'm still human. I still have an ego about me. So there is a part of my ego that's like, I still want to save for retirement because, yes, I know that that's a program I have. Yes, I know that that's something I am working on to heal. But for now, I have gold and silver that I can utilize here in 3D if I wanted to, that I say I'm utilizing for my retirement later. Maybe when I become more of my badass higher self and I just am like, ha 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 ha, and I start manifesting like just crazy, like Matrix is just, breaking apart. Then yeah, I seek to become more of a sovereign being, but I do feel that in my personal opinion, gold and silver is on the way to sovereignty. It's not 100% sovereignty because I'm still giving my energy to these metals, right? But I also feel, spiritually speaking, I am these metals. I am gold. I am silver. So what can silver teach me about myself? What can gold teach me about myself? Well, in the 3D sense, gold has been doing really well. I believe it's over $2,700 right now. And when I bought an ounce of gold, which is this ounce of gold was like 1,800 something, but now it's 2,700 something. So I definitely have more now. And so that's kind of something cool about gold and silver is if I have, well, okay, I don't literally have a dollar bill with me because I don't have any dollars. But if I had a dollar bill, 20 years from now, I still have a dollar bill. Nobody's going to give me more for my dollar bill, really. I mean, sometimes maybe with the goods we buy, maybe if I go and buy something from Taco Bell, my dollar could go more, or maybe it could be less. I can buy less with that dollar at Taco Bell, or maybe I can buy more. It depends on the inflation in our economy. But if I have just gold laying around, I have this ounce of gold, not doing anything with it, instead of me having literally $1,800 sitting in my hand, I now have $2,700 sitting in my hand. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about, that something this small is like worth $2,700. That's crazy. So yeah, it's instead of me going to buy something now with this, it's the thing itself that's actually going up or down in value, which is interesting. So yeah, okay, now let's go to the spiritual things. Oh wow, Shadowland says, did another tassiography. Look, this morning got a dumbbell and a turtle. Ooh. Well, you know what, girl? I will pull a card for you. Let me finish talking about the gold and silver, and I will remember to pull you a card. Let me go back to what some of you guys have said. Do do do. Hold on. Let me go way back. Okay, Angela says, ooh, I love their silver and gold dip leaves. Shamisha, oh, so Luna, your cat passed away yesterday. I am so sorry. I know what it's like to lose a furry one. I've lost my dog. I've lost a cat now. So I am sending you lots of love for sure. Sorry to hear about that. Angela says, I view silver and gold as very healing metals. Silver doesn't keep bacteria and gold doesn't rust. Another fun fact, nature's golden food, honey, never rots to time either. I heard about some scientists who cracked open an ancient Egyptian honey jar and found it to still be edible. I did read about that because Egyptology is my bag, baby. And just says, I thought it's cool. It's still edible, but also, oh no, why did you take and break open the jar? I know, right? I'm like, what? Why are you opening this stuff? It's been there for a few thousand years. Leave it alone. Silver Star, our girl Heather, and mighty moderator is here. It says, hello, beautiful sister. Good day, loves. I hope you're all well. Hugs and love always. Anja says, I'm great. Thanks. Feeling super happy this morning. Good mood magic things are going to happen. I can tell. I don't know how I can tell. I just feel it. I think we all have this knowing right now. Silver Star says the average adult human body contains about 0.2 milligrams of gold. We are gold, baby. And just says, snaps fingers, Matrix be gone. Matrix be gone. We are in charge now. And the good things need to come in, okay? We all deserve to be happy. And now we make it so, okay. Amen. Kaplan says, a drop of water has more energy than your household consumes in a year. Size does not matter for energy. This is true. And the same goes, for me, energy is non-containable. Yes, there is energy in this body, in this vessel that I'm in, but is all of my energy within this vessel? No, my energy is out there with you guys. My energy is in all things. Like, we are all one. Our energy is everywhere. Our thought forms have energy. Like, everything is energy, and and it doesn't matter the size of the vessel. It's just the energy itself, which is why I feel like when working with crystals, it doesn't matter the size of the crystal. You could just connect to the energy of the crystal. You don't even need the physical crystal. You could just connect to it. So I totally feel you on that one. Talia says they lost their shit. Oh, wow. Angela says, oh, Luna, can I do a poem in honor of the fur baby? Sending hugs. Lily also sending condolences. Shadowlance is going to be going out for lunch later. Okay, I will remember to pull your card, though. So hopefully you'll be able to get it in the replay if you leave before then. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now, spiritually speaking, gold and silver. I have, let's talk about gold first. Okay, so I have a few 1 ounce gold bars. I have these little coins as well. This is the only gold coin that I touch, really. And that's my Philharmonic. So this is, what size is this? This is a 1/4 ounce. They write it so freaking tiny. Okay, so yeah, this is a 1/4 ounce of gold. So I believe these are all my 1/4 ounces. And these are called Cougarans because this is the money from Australia. And these are called Philharmonics. So there's like different types that people like to connect. Like, some people say, I like to collect Cougarans, or I like to collect Walking Liberties, or I like to collect Philharmonics. Like, there's certain types of like coins and rounds that people like to collect, that they like to transfer their money from dollar bills into metals. And this one being a 1/2 ounce Cougarand. So okay, and like I said, this was not a coin. This is a round, because a coin means that it has actual like value to it. Like, this is a $5 coin or something like that. Okay, so energetically speaking, for me this year, when I tapped in, I said this was a gold year. Now, yes, I know that industrially speaking, we do use gold in a lot of things. There's actually gold that is used in cancer treatments. There's gold that's used in health treatments. As our friend Heather, Silver Star Priestess, had said, pieces of us are made of gold. Well, remember, as within, so without, as above, so below. We are one, we are everything. So we are this gold, we are this silver. And as our other friend said, size doesn't matter. Energy is energy, and we just tap into the energy. And for me, this is all about flow and connection, kind of like that card that we pulled of Yamaya. So I have felt this year of me trying my best to not allow myself to block myself in the way of that flow. I know I'm not perfect at it, because, what is perfection anyway than just a like mental construct? But it's more like, if I want, let's say, oh, here's something that James and I want. We want a hogan on this property, which is it's an old style, like Native American structure. And the Diné, the Navajo, were pretty good at making them. I have friends on the reservation, my Apache friends, that they said they'd be more than happy to help us build it one day. But, we are saving up for it. We don't have the money for all the materials yet. Not that it's really that expensive, but, we're just saving up. And we want to have that thing. Now, I've noticed that at first, maybe there was like some resistance to us saving up for that hogan. And so that to me is like not living in flow. But when I tapped into the energy of gold, which that energy is also me, it was showing me exactly where my blockages were, keeping me from living in that flow, being able to just effortlessly, get what it is that we desire, and also looking into why we desire that thing. And for me, tapping into gold just, it's like shining a freaking beacon on my shadows and on my programming and saying, hey, sister, like this is where you are blocking yourself. Not to be, mad at myself about it, but just like, okay, well, if I'm blocking myself there, why am I blocking myself? Oh, I know that ties into something with childhood. Okay, cool beans. Now I know I can go back and I know where to heal that. So for me, gold has been integral, not the physical gold, me holding it, but just me tapping into the energy of gold to help shine a light more easily on my traumas, on my shadows, on my programming, so that I can continue to remove those blockages. To me, gold is like, if I were to connect it to a deity, it would be like Lord Ganesha. So, the remover of obstacles. And I just think of this like golden elephant, just just breaking down walls, breaking down barriers. And actually, that's kind of how I saw gold was like the golden elephant, just breaking down barriers. But it's not the gold doing it for me. It's not the energy of gold doing it for me. It's not Ganesh himself doing it for me. I'm the one doing it, and I'm the one giving the intention. I'm the one saying, okay, let's look at where the shadows are. Let's look at where the blockages are. I tap into the energy of gold, which is also an aspect of me. I now shine light on that, using that aspect of myself. And now I take the other aspect of myself, which is Lord Ganesha, and I say, let's go ahead and break down those things. Let's heal and let's break down those barriers. So in essence, yes, you're just doing it with your own energy, but we can definitely intend for different aspects of that energy to be utilized. So that's me spiritually speaking about gold. Now, when it comes to silver, oh, wow. See, I have a gold round and I have a silver round. So this is actually an ounce of silver and this is an ounce of gold. Okay. So, and these are called buffalo coins or buffalo rounds. For silver, uh, I feel energetically like gold is a much more masculine energy to me personally. This is just me personally. And silver is a much more feminine type energy. So where I feel like when I'm utilizing gold, like let's say again, I want to get a hogan. I want to build a hogan. I want to be able to afford the materials for it. I want to shed light, which is a very actionable thing to do, on where my blockages are. That shedding of the light, I feel, is a very masculine trait. It's a divine masculine. It's taking action, shedding light on something, and then taking action about it. So for me, that's gold. For silver, it's the actually using my intuition and using my higher self to show me where the trauma or the healing actually is, where that needs to be had. So you have this. Technically, I'm just using physical representations, but this shines the light. This sees what needs to be healed, helps to heal it here. So this can take the action in my 3D world, if that makes sense. So over here is where I got like all of my intuition, utilizing that silver type energy to help me to heal through that process. And then I take action afterwards using that masculine type energy, which for me is gold. So like I said, I'm just using these coins as like a physical representation, but this is all energetically speaking. So, okay. Angela says, fun thought, were alchemists looking to make gold the metal, or were they looking for spiritual gold and ascension? Maybe it was both. Remember, there's no one answer to everything. There's always layers. So what if it was both? Silver Star says, paradoxical. And then Avium says, how do you tap into the energy of gold? So for me, I have my own personal meditative practice. Maybe meditation looks different for you, but it would be the same as me tapping into my own intuition, my own higher self, kind of that same type of way. So when I'm getting into meditation, or if I'm just like tapping in right now, I go inwards quickly and I feel for my energy. I feel for my intuition. At this point in my meditative journey, I'm very clear on who's speaking? Like, is it my intuition? Is it my ego? So once you get to a place where you really understand your own energy, like, this is my energy, this is my higher self's energy, this is the energy of my ego. Now, when I bring something else into my sphere, whether it's physical or not, and I try to tap into it, I tap into the feeling that is different from my ego and different from my higher self. So for me, it comes in the form of images, sometimes song lyrics, sometimes I feel like a tingling somewhere in my body. How people feel energy is different from person to person. Some people just have a knowing, like our friend Angela was just saying, she just doesn't know how she knows, but she just knows we're going to have a great rest of the year. She just knows some good things are coming. So that's one way of tapping into energy, is just this knowing. Some people feel it in their body. Some people get as mental images or sounds. It's just really getting an understanding of your own personal energy. And for me, I've done it through meditation. But of course, if you find it through other means, definitely do what works best for you. Kaplan said, father is like the sun, which is gold, and Kaplan is mother moon, which is silver. Ah, yes, that actually makes sense to me. That does make sense to me. Silverstar says, that's so trippy. I have working with him, Tara, and I've been seeing the energy of the elephant energy assists in breaking down my own walls. It's wild. It never fails. Dude, so sisters. Angela said, Father, Sun, and Mother Moon have been in love and ancient forever in the sky, longer than we know at sunrise and sunset. They steal a hug and kiss, then off to work they go. Amen. And then Angela says, you could carry the color with you. Gold and silver paper might work. Yeah. Or a picture of the sun and moon. Yes. And Abiom, you're very welcome. So like I said, you don't have to physically have silver and gold, because to me, everything is energy. We don't have to have certain crystals. We don't have to have certain metals. I don't technically have to have like my oracle cards, but really what they are physical permission slips for us to access our own energy. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Remember, we just do what's best for us and what we're ready for. If we had decided one day, you know what, I'm just really good at accessing my intuition without my oracle cards, then cool beans. Just know that maybe for a time, this was a way that I used these pieces of cardboard to access my intuition. Maybe for a time, I used physical silver to help me access the aspect of myself that is silver. And same thing for gold. Maybe for a time, I used gold. Maybe for a time, I used crystals to access those pieces of me. Do I still feel those things have consciousness? Yes, I feel like everything has consciousness because we have consciousness. Even our thoughts have consciousness. And whether they end up in our physical reality is also up to us, also up to the free will of every thought we've ever had. That's like a topic for another time, but definitely a download that I got this week. So, okay, so now just for funsies, now that you guys kind of know my thoughts on gold and silver, and kind of just utilizing them, for me, it's working on just my everyday present moment stuff. I try not to be too much in the past. I try not to be too much in the future, where I say, oh, the grass is always greener in the future. The grass was greener in the past. I try to be as much as I can in the present. And so I like to have the energy of gold. Again, doesn't need to be physical, just the energy of gold. Please show me where I am blocking myself from fully enjoying my present moment. And I do that in meditation. I do that when I connect to myself. I access that piece of my intuition. And for me, I'm just utilizing the aspect of me that is gold to do it. And it's saying here, 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 and here is where you need to do some work. I access the part of me that is silver. I say, okay, let's go in and find, where those things are that need to be healed. Let's heal them. And then I access the part of me that is gold again. And I'm like, let's take action, baby. Let's do it. And things have been pretty freaking magical this year. I will have to say that. Every year is magical. Every present moment is magical. It's just, I think it's my ego that's having its mind blown over and over again, because all the things that I thought my ego thought was impossible has just been happening, and it's awesome. Like, it's awesome. Let's see. Oh, Grandma's here. It says, when you don't have the five senses, it's mostly just the energetic sense. Maybe heard that on this channel. Yes, I don't know if I said it here, but I know I've said it somewhere. But I was talking about how our five senses are also a part of the matrix. And so isn't it interesting that in this matrix world, the one sense that they always say is hogwash, you can't trust it. That's for like woo-woo weirdo stuff, like psychic stuff is scary. You don't want to tap into that other sense. That happens to be the one sense that is true, that is accurate, because it is tapping into our own energy. So if I were trying to create a world where I didn't want people to access that energy or that piece of themselves, I would tell them that the five senses that I've given them are the only true senses, and that one other sense, ignore that one. There's no such thing as a gut instinct. But yeah, truly. And so when we connect to Mina telepathically, who, by the way, she's almost out of the matrix. She was like at 5% ego last time we spoke with her. I don't even know if she's here on Earth anymore. But anyway, she was saying that if you didn't have your five senses, how would you know that you are sick? You know, if you were feeling sick, if you didn't have your five senses, how would you know that your reality looks the way it does, or feels the way it does, or operates the way it does? You wouldn't know it, right? You'd just be operating solely on your intuition and using that intuition to navigate that environment and to create things in that environment. So she says, just something to keep in mind. I'm not saying it's all true. Maybe it's just true for me. But, definitely something to think about. Silver Stars is, if I missed anyone, welcome to and hello. You can join in today. Yes. And Graham says, happy Sunday. And just says, I affirm things are good right now for me and for all of you today. Good will come and good will stay. We deserve happiness and to be okay. Amen. And Silver Star said, that is true. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, so now let's look at these fun things, you guys. Okay. I do want to talk about something that is called constitutional silver. Some people call it junk silver. And that's these things right here. This is an actual coin from 1924. This is an American coin. It's called a Liberty coin, and it looks like this on the back. This was $1. So this was our $1 coin. And so all coins created before 1965 have real silver in them. Like it was a way that we created our money system. And so like our dollar, the $1, like our $1 bill, we created paper money, or at least here in the United States, we created paper money as a note to pick up our gold later. So like gold was connected to money. And so we would say, instead of paying that person in like gold nuggets or gold bars, our country just decided it was easier to start using paper money. And so anytime we wanted, we could take that paper money to the bank and exchange it for our gold when we needed to. So it was just like a placeholder. It was like an IOU. And that's what our dollar bills and our $50 bills, our $100 bills, that's what they were for. It was an IOU. It's saying this $100 bill is for $100 worth of gold, because gold would move up and down, and so it was just easier to print money instead. And then after the sinking of the Titanic, and interesting, there were many bankers that were on that Titanic who opposed moving away from the gold standard, which was the banks decided they were no longer going to hold gold for the American public, and that now our money had nothing to do with gold. So if you went and took your $100 bill to the bank now and said, I would like to exchange this for $100 worth of gold, they'd be like, we don't keep gold here, son. So our country went off of that standard. So now our whole monetary value is just based on the paper note, the IOU itself, instead of what it used to be worth. And so our coins actually had silver in them, because that helped make it worth something. So this $1 coin was worth $1 worth of silver. And so I'm actually paying somebody in silver because this can be melted down and it can be used. So it was a way of keeping our precious metals, our gold and silver, in our economy. So we were still basically exchanging with gold and silver. But we've since moved away from that. And so after 1965, I believe it's 65, we no longer had silver in our dimes, in our quarters and half dollars and full dollars. Those were all the coins that had silver in them. And we moved away from it so that it was made up of other metals, like steel and nickel and copper and, things like that. So just something to keep in mind, next time you get some change back, at the store, look for any of your quarters or dimes, half dollars or full dollars that are like pre-1965. That actually has silver in it and actually is worth more than that 25 cents. So that quarter is, if it has pre-1965 and it has silver in it, is worth more than 25 cents. Trust me. If you took that to a bullion dealer, you would get more for that. So here's some other coins that are before 1965. Like I said, I had this 1922. I also have this 1924 Liberty. But also it's in some of the Mexican coins too. And I believe other countries did this, but don't quote me on that. But this is Mexican coin. And this is from, what year is this? 1964. So yeah, this does have silver content in it. And here's some other constitutional silver. I like to keep it in my little sack right here. Let's see. Angela says, thanks. Yeah, I wonder who's in charge of drawing coin art because they don't think about it. It's super talented. And Lily said, fun fact, pennies from 1986 and before were made with copper. Those are the ones I use for my manifestation and I leave to the spirits or spirit when I go forage. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's something else. Yeah, I learned that. I just didn't know that the year was 1986, but that's good to know. Thank you. But yeah, our copper pennies no longer really made with copper. Our silver quarters no longer made with silver. Interesting. Oh, the land spirits. Oh, I see. Okay. So here are, first of all, I like the way like real silver coins chinkles. That's like ASMR. Oh wait, my microphone's here. There we go. Okay, so let's look at these. So this one is a Benjamin, and this is a $50. And this is from 1959. So yes, made with silver. Here we have one from 1900. And to me, just feeling the energy of every person who ever touched this, like look at how worn this is. And let's see, where's that other coin? Okay, to think this was the actual thickness of this coin. And see how worn it is with all of those people that like rubbed this coin, had it in their pocket, used it as a token for something, paid for their food or new shoes or who knows what, maybe their fare to get on the train or a ship, using this coin. All the people that had this in their possession, for all of those people to rub it this thin, to me, that's pretty cool. So I like to tap into the energy of the people that held on to these coins, and they paid for things. I guess you could do that with any coins really, but to me, like old coins, like we're talking like 1800s, early 1900s, it's just kind of cool, to see kind of history that way. Here's some, you guys might recognize it. It just looks like your average quarter But this quarter's from 1961, which means that there's actual silver content in here. I know I have some other little guys that you guys might find interesting. Ooh, the Mercury dimes. Now, this is the god Mercury, known for swiftness and speed, but also for messenger. So, like passing along communication and messages. So, yeah, this is on our little 10-cent coin. This one is from 1945. Silver Star says, that is so cool. Angela says, we should ask one of these coins what kind of adventures it's been on. Ooh, let's do it, actually. Hold on, let me empty my little baggie. Let me put my camera down here so you guys can see what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? Okay. So we have, ooh, check out this one. This is from 1891. I believe they cleaned this one up. So this one has been cleaned. All the fingerprints of all those people have been taken away. So that's why it looks a little bit newer. But yeah, 1891. Pretty cool. And I think it's called the Morgan dollars. Yes. So that's a Morgan. That's also a Morgan. That's what it used to look like before it was rubbed almost unrecognizable. But yeah, let's tap into the energy of one of these. Ooh, look at this one, 1944. That's been weathered all to hell, but it looks rad. Easy does it. What's up? How are you? Okay, let's tap into one of them. So let me just, let's pick one. I pick this one. Okay, it's a quarter. This is 1964. Just your average quarter, but let's tap into it. Obviously, it's been touched by a lot of people. We just want to see like one of those people that touched this guy. Okay. Interesting. So all I could really see is, like I said, a lot of people touched it, but the one energy I'm picking up on so far is all I could see is a lady, and she's got her little, you know, like the little gloves they had like in the 60s. She had her little lace gloves on. And like all I could see is her pulling this out of her coin purse with a few other coins, slapping them on the counter, and I see her walking away with a loaf of bread. It was a loaf of bread, and there was one other thing she got. Almost looks like gum, like a loaf of bread and gum or something. Can't really tell the other thing, but definitely I see the bread, and it just was this, I don't know, almost like shaking her head like, I've never seen bread this expensive. Like I think she's like paying a quarter for bread, but she's just saying it's like so expensive. So this lady feels older. Like she remembers a time when things were a lot cheaper. And she just felt like when she put her coins on the counter, like, there they go again, you know, making it so it's hard to make a living. Like she's just very upset. Like, why do they keep raising the prices? Well, I guess that's not too different than now, huh? Where we walk into the grocery store, we've literally bought like 10 items, and it's like, how was that $100? Like, that's crazy. Whereas beforehand, let's say not even like 10 years ago, that probably would have been like $30 or less, worth of groceries. But yeah, that's what I was picking up from this 1964 Washington. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe you guys might want to do that later on today. If you have some old coins laying around, I guess they don't necessarily have to be like constitutional silver, silver coins. But yeah, see what you get when you tap into our money, because we definitely have a feeling about it. Every person on the planet, whether they feel, not connected to money. Maybe they do feel connected to money. Maybe they have shadows around money, so they might have a lot of fret and worry. Maybe their feeling is that money comes easily to them. Maybe for them, money is the devil, or it's hard to obtain. There's just so much of our own energy that we put into these physical pieces, our own worries, our own triumphs, our own everything. Yeah. So if you guys want to message me on, or you could do it now, and you could put it in the comments. But if you wanted to message me on Instagram at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and you meditated with one of your own coins, let me know what you got. I'd be interested. Yeah, meditating with our money system, bits of our money. That's cool. That would be cool. Okay, so I wanted to show you just some of the other fun little rounds that I have. I have some ancient Egyptian stuff here because you guys know I love Egypt. So these are little poured pieces. So we have King Tut here. Check out the back. So I keep these in these little holders just to protect them from my grubby little fingers. Oh, Tarot Girl is here. Hello. How are you? Angela said, ooh, interesting. And Silver Star says, I thought the same thing. Here we have Bastet. And we have this, Anubis and the Weighing of the Heart. Another poured silver piece. Here they have the embalming process. I have Nefertiti. Actually, she came through on one of our channelings. If you go and look up the channeling, The Two Worlds Split, in our channeling playlists, you'll get to hear Nefertiti's thoughts on The Two Worlds Split. This one I do like to touch, and this is a scarab. This was hand poured. You can see I like the imperfection of hand pouring. It's pretty cool. This is MK Bars. That's where we got this from, or like who poured this. Okay, some other ones that I have here. Let me just move these off to the side. Okay, well, you guys already saw those ones. Okay, so this is from 1977. This is 10 pesos. This is some Mexican money here. And this one is also from Mexico. This is 1968. This is when the Olympics came to Mexico. So you have the cool Aztec right there. Let's see. What else? This would be pretty cool to show you guys. For those of you that love the Peanuts gang, I'm not really going to take it out of this packaging. I'll just keep it in there. And technically, when you buy stuff like this, you're buying it for a premium, and maybe rarely like you're going to get your money back on it. The point of like buying cool stuff like this is I'm not keeping it for its like value. I keep it because it has value to me. Like I like it. I like the Peanuts. So this coin really, or sorry, this round would only have value to somebody else who likes the Peanuts gang and would love to like buy this off of me. But I like it. I'm going to keep it. 'Tis mine. It's the Great Pumpkin. Okay, here are some other ones you guys might like. The two wolves. Which wolf do you feed? Which is part of a Native American tale that every one of us has two wolves inside of us. You could see that as our ego and our soul. It all depends on which wolf you feed, and that creates your reality. Lily says, the Peanuts gang has been coming up a lot for me. Really? Synchronicity. The dirty work of rediscovery. Good morning to you, my friend. This comes from, these are Silver Shield rounds. You might want to look into Silver Shield. I think they create some unique looking pieces. Here's another one with these 4 warrior women. So you have kind of like, you have one holding these scales, you have one creating something, you have one that is like temperance, you have one that is like Diane, the warrior. So it's basically the goddesses collection. So I like my goddess coins. You know me. Okay. Oh, here's another one. This is a Liberty coin. Some of you guys were saying you love the artwork. I agree. Ooh, you guys are gonna like this one. This one's funny. Keep calm and slave on. Cannabis. These are my cannabis coins. I have a couple of these actually. Yeah, I got a couple of those. These ones where it says $1 on it, these are actual coins. So these are not rounds. This is actual, has monetary value, and this is from Barbados. So this is part of Barbados currency. But I thought they just had some cool looking stuff. So I got theirs, but of course it is silver. It is silver as well. Here's another one. This is the freedom coin. You know about me, I'm all about freedom. Easy Does It says, I never thought coins would be so interesting. For me, yeah, I think it's they're interesting like ASMR. You know, I can play with them. I can, I can meditate with them. I like to feel into the energy of the people that held at least the constitutional silver. With these, I love the artwork that's created. So I don't know. It's just yeah. Oh, here are the Aztec coin or rounds. I love these because on the back it has the Aztec calendar, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. Hey, you guys will recognize this. E.T. phone home. Whoa, it's like Inception right now. I could see the reflection of the camera in the reflection of the camera in the reflection of the camera. Here's what I mentioned before. These are called walking liberties. And these are $1 coins. So although they are 0.999% silver, they are also an actual coin. So if I don't know, wanted to actually use this at the store, I probably could use this, but probably won't, because why would I give them silver? It's worth more than $1 technically. So I have a couple of those. All right, you guys will like these too. So those of you, maybe any Leos in the house, we have the lion, the masculine, remember the rays of the sun, the father. This is reserve, and this is created by the Scottsdale Mint. So different mintages or different mints, they create their own like kind of cool artsy stuff. So some people, like I said, they collect it for the value. They're trying to save for their retirement. Some people are doing it because they think the apocalypse is coming. Some people really like the art. Some people, that's just what they've done in their family, is they always just, stack gold and silver. So everybody does these things for different reasons. This is by SD Bullion. These are different places maybe you guys want to check out. This one was justice. That's right. I got a few different ladies. One was freedom. One was justice. But also, like if you wanted to create something like on your altar and maybe you want it to surround like the justice card, having to bring yourself back into balance, the weighing of your own heart, heart and mind, that might be kind of cool. Maybe create a little altar. All right, so this I got, obviously I'm never going to sell this, but this is my E-shell round. E-shell is a Mayan goddess, and she's kind of like a triple goddess, but she's also the goddess of the waters, of motherhood, of children, of remover of obstacles. Lily says Leo here. But this is a colorized round. So on the back, actually, no, this is not a round. This is an actual coin. This is an actual coin. It's a large coin, you can see. It does have Queen Elizabeth's image on the back. And this is from the Republic of Ghana. So this is their money system. And it's 5 kitties. But yeah, that is a colorized coin. And I had this on my altar for a while. Maybe I'll put it back on my altar at some point. But it's like triple insulated because the coin is inside of a little coin holder, which is inside this like thing, which is inside this thing. Okay, so two other things. Just want to show you guys real quick. Oh, first of all, check that out. Some people don't want round things. They want things to be in bars. And so I, for a while, got a few things from a place called AppMex, which is an online bullion dealer of precious metals. And I got these 10-ounce bars. So bars aren't like, I guess, too fun to look at for me, but I like the coins aspect, but I like this one because it has like the liberty on it. It has the "We the People," the Constitution back there. And then this one, of course, I like my Mayans. I like my Aztecs. I got an Aztec bar with the Aztec calendar on the back. And then these 2 bars. Where did I get these from? These are also silver shield. So like I said, they create some interesting things. So this is the back, and it's got some like trippy design. It's silver shield. But on the front, this is like the work of Alex Gray. If you guys know what artist that is, he kind of creates some cool artwork. If you're familiar with the band Tool, a lot of their album cover art is created by Alex Gray. So it's like the bazillion eyes, so many eyes watching. And this one, again, also a silver shield. You can see that on the back. On this side, it says, "No lie gets to the other side." No lie gets to the other side. So yeah, they do have some that are more, I guess, spiritual. So there's like some spiritual rounds that they have. Some of their bars, they like to put like some cool trippy artwork on. Some are more for like people that are, all about taking back their sovereignty. So they've created some cool looking stuff for that. This I got from the AppMex, the bullion dealer, one year for Christmas, I think it was, because some of the dealers, like if you spend money with them, sometimes they send you little gifts. So they sent me this card. This is 1 gram of silver, so it's a silver card. So it's, I think that's kind of cool. All right, so other unique looking things. I'm not really going to touch those, but I keep them in this like airtight package. But I have another one of my Egyptian hand poured pieces there. And then there's this, which is the Pompe Suisse. And so this is a kilo of silver. I just thought it looked really rad. Like, I'm like, just to hold like a kilo in your hand. I was like, that's cool. Okay. And here's another one. I like this one. It says, no, not federal, no reserves. So if you take away this, they call this the den of thieves. So yeah, they have some political stuff there too, if you guys want to check out. This was also from, what you call it? Sunshine Silver? Yeah. Okay, and then this one is from the Scottsdale Mint, and this says Tombstone, and this is also hand poured. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess those were like all the what you guys might consider like the interesting things that I have, at least art wise. But like I said, hopefully you found this interesting. I tried to at least talk with the knowledge that I have about like the 3D, about gold and silver, but also maybe if you wanted to incorporate it into your meditation, into your healing, or maybe you want to go out and start collecting constitutional silver, or at least pay attention to the change that you get back at the store. A lot of people do that. They're always going through their coins. They're looking for anything like pre-1965, so they can find like, oh my gosh, this one actually has some silver content in it, which makes it worth more than what is stated on the coin itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me find some. Okay, yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Hold on. Stop the press. Okay. I have something in here that I think you guys might fancy. Okay. There's something called Goldbacks. And not every state has created them, but some states have created these for their state. So like, let's say Wyoming. Wyoming has a Goldback. Basically, there is gold woven into this, and they thought that in the case, just in case we can't use our dollar bills, we might want to use something that actually has like precious metal content in it. So like Wyoming has printed their own dollar bills. So this is like a $1 bill. There's $5 bills, $10, basically all the dollar bills that we have in paper form, they've created in like this Goldback form. So I have Wyoming, Utah has created their own gold money, and Nevada. I believe there are a few other states that have created these, but you can only use them in that state. So if I were in Nevada, I could use this and pay for something, and it is legal tender. But they haven't made one for Arizona yet. And when they do, I'm definitely buying some Arizona Goldbacks, mostly because they look cool. I don't think I would actually like use them to pay for anything, but I think they look cool. Like this one is Sophia. So Goddess Sophia of the mind, of learning. Like, I just thought that's so amazing. I love this artwork. I mean, Utah, here you have, the first settlers. That's supposed to be an image, bringing light and illumination to Utah. And then we have here in Wyoming, you have the buffalo and the Native American and the bald eagle and the flowers. And just, I thought that's so cool. Lily says, where do you buy those Goldbacks, online or in the bank? You could go to a bullion dealer. You'll definitely find them at your local coin shop, your bullion dealer shop. They do sell these online as well. So I did mention a few places, like there's JM Bullion, there's SD Bullion, there's APMEX, there's Scottsdale, but I think they're a mint. Where's the other bullion dealers?
That's pretty much most of the big ones.
Yeah, I think those are most of the big ones. The ones that we've bought from and we trust them as far as having like the lower premiums so that we get more bang for our buck, so to speak. But yeah, definitely check them out. Sometimes like if you go to the bullion shop, they'll have a bunch of these all laid out and you just say, I would like to buy the $5 one, or I want to buy the $1 one or the $50 one. And they're pretty cheap actually, which is why I like them. So let's see. Silver Star says, I could totally nerd out on just coins and stuff. The history behind these things fascinates me. Easy Does It says, last but not least. And Angela says, wow, it's giving me tarot card vibes with the gold leafing. Yes, that's also why I liked him. Silver Star says, I'm going to have to get me a Utah one. Wink, wink. Of course. That's who I was thinking of when I saw it. I was like, oh, Heather. Alrighty, you guys. Let's then get to the next portion. Like I said, I hope you guys, enjoyed this with the chat today. I like busting out my stuff here. But yeah, if you guys would like, I just had an idea. Okay, for the super chats and super stickers, I mean, we could use one of my new decks, or I could pull a constitutional silver and let the energy of our fellow human help us with it, or at least hopefully connecting to their higher self. And then we get, so we could do that for super chats and super stickers. I know that our friend Shadowlands did a super chat. Let me just go all the way back and see what she said. Okay, so she was talking about tasseography, and in her teacup, she thought she saw a dumbbell and a turtle. So let's see. We're going to do a little coin pull. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little coin pull for Shadowlands and see what we can get off the energy of this coin to see if we can help Shadowlands. She said she saw a dumbbell and a turtle. What does that mean? Okay, so we pulled this Benjamin Franklin here with the Liberty Bell, our little $50 from 1958. And let's see what it has to say. Wow, this is a lot different. I don't think I've done this before. This is kind of cool. Okay, so what was coming through is Shadowlands, if you are still here or you're going to watch the replay, that all the things that you've been doing, the creating your staff, creating your runes, just being totally in your creative element. Like you're not worried about, I have to do this on my to-do list. Like you're so focused in the present moment, just in your intuition, creating those runes. I appreciate all the videos you send me on Instagram as well of your rune making process, and when you're making your staffs and your wands, and that you're just so much in your heart space. And yes, your ego is in there from time to time, thinking like, would this look cool? Would this look cool? But for the most part, you're in that present moment. And so the advice then, when you saw the dumbbell and the turtle, is to continue maybe utilizing that time also for your healing. So going inwards and just, as things start to come up while you're making those runes, while you're making your wand or whatever you're doing with the wood and your drill and things like that, just what's coming up. If something pops into your head, and maybe it could be something from a long time ago, that's a wonderful time to work on it and work through it while you're just in that heart space. Because sometimes when things come up where we might be very much in our ego space, and our ego might resist and be like, nah, I don't want to work on that right now, because it knows that if you get healing, that's one less reason for it to be master and commander. It's like, I'm losing control. So yeah, take your time, which is also representative of the turtle, that nothing has to be done quickly. Those staffs don't have to be created quickly. The wands, the runes, they don't have to be done quickly. It's all about you and the act of making them right now. and allowing to have whatever comes up come up for you, and so that you could do not only your healing at the same time, but create some amazing pieces, some magical pieces that are yours personally. And I think that what you're creating is beautiful. So thank you, all the thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people that touched this coin. Thank you for your advice. And just says, stay strong. Home is where the heart is. Honey is within you. All that glitters isn't gold. Or let life shine for you. Amen. Dirty Work said, thank you. All right. So that was fun. Anybody else want a coin pull? We'll do super chats and super stickers with the coins. I think that'll be cool. But if not, I believe Angela had a suggestion for our channel guided meditation. And I believe it was along the lines of taking back our sovereignty, taking back our power. And you know what? Our sovereignty never went anywhere, because if we did give our sovereignty away, that was a sovereign choice that we did that with. So it's all about reminding ourselves maybe that we are powerful, that we are sovereign. Maybe sometimes we forget, and that's okay. That's part of the journey too, right? Okay. I just love that sound. I don't know how that sounds over the microphone. Okay. Let's see. Dirty Works is perfect for today for me. Thank you. All righty. Oh, by the way, I do sleep with one of these under my pillow, and that's this guy, my buffalo coin. Yeah, I've been sleeping with gold under my pillow since January 1st. My dreams were pretty trippy at first. Not that they're not ever not trippy, but it took a while, I guess, for me to be like in the energetic frequency of like gold. So I don't know. It's been interesting having this underneath my pillow, I suppose. I don't know. If you guys sleep with things under your pillow, maybe you might want to try one of your coins. Maybe you have a little bit of gold or silver or something laying around. And then last night, I also slept with this silver poured arrowhead underneath my pillow. And I will say I'm rather saddened so that I can't remember my dreams from last night. But I'll try again tonight. We'll see. Okay. Lily said, what guidance or message Spirit has for me? Okay. Let's pull a card for you then, Lily. She said, no coin for me, please. Alrighty. So let's use the Wild Woman. Okay, here we go. So let's tap into Lily's energy. Okay, Lily, as you know, these images make no sense at first, but I was seeing, like, you know, at the mall when you got the person dressed up in the Easter Bunny costume, and you could clearly see that there's a person in the costume. It's like a poorly fitted costume. And they're like got the furry head and everything. But I was seeing like the mall Easter Bunny, and all the kids lined up with their little Easter baskets, waiting for the Easter Bunny to give them some goodies. So they're all waiting in line. Everybody's antsy. You got kids crying, another kid shoving another kid, and they just can't wait to go sit on the Easter Bunny's lap so they can get a little treat. So let's see what this means. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Ooh. We have Artemis, she of the wild, mercy. Mercy, mercy. Okay, let's tap into this, because how do we even connect the Easter Bunny? But let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is more what your higher self, your guides, just want you to basically ponder on, just something to think about. But in cities, in society, there's a lot of the externalization of nature, like the Easter bunny. Instead of having this like a real bunny sitting there, we have somebody dressed up like a bunny. Sometimes like with like, well, the holidays are coming around, so like with Santa Claus, some people might be dressed up like reindeer. You might even have somebody dressed up like a Christmas tree or a Yule tree. But there's all these representations of nature. There's these you know people putting astroturf, to represent grass, to represent nature, people bringing in maybe an artificial Christmas tree into their home, or artificial flower arrangements. That there's all this made artificial representations of nature, but also understanding nature is us. And just to look into, I know that you like connecting to, going outdoors and nature, and understanding, yes, we are nature, we technically never leave it. But maybe just to go into, and this might be really deeply hidden, where programming from society, maybe even in school, has tried to separate you from nature, to make you think that you're something else, that you're not the bunnies, you're not the reindeer, you're not the trees, that you're something different. And it's something that we can dress up as, but it's not really us. So although I know at a conscious level, you already know this, like, of course, I am nature. Like, I don't have to be in the trees to know that I am the trees. But this is more like just very subconscious. It's still in there somewhere. And just something to look at, because this is going to be in the recesses of your shadows, and to work on maybe healing it, or whatever it is that you want to do with it. It's that idea that we are separate somehow, that we are somehow foreign to nature, that we are not nature ourselves. And that if you go in and do start working on that, you will notice that being the nature being that you already are, those things that you are working on manifesting at this very moment, the things that are most important to you, it's just chipping away, it's removing another blockage that's in the way right now. And it may not seem like it's related in any way, but think about it. Like, using this forest as an example, if it wants the wind, it's going to bring the wind. If it wants rain, it will have rain. If it wants birds in the trees making nests, the trees will call on those birds to make them nests. Like, they are the masters of instant manifestation, but so are we. But somehow along the way, we've gotten disconnected from that. And so if you go inwards to work on that healing of I am separate in some fashion or another, then the things that you've been trying to manifest will be much easier for you. So just like I said, something to think about. I know that you know this consciously, but this is all subconscious. And, that's why we call them shadows. They're hard for us to see. So that's why, sometimes I need my shadows pointed out to me, because I'm like, no, consciously I think otherwise. Yeah, but subconsciously I might not think otherwise. Lily says, yes, very interesting. So something to think about. Interesting. Graham says, sometimes I sleep with books under my pillow for greater knowledge. Nice. You know what? I used to do that too. When I was little, there was a favorite poetry book that I had, and it was called The Sunshine Trail. I think it was a book from like the 60s or something, but I loved the poetry in it. And it was all about being out in nature. Now that we're talking about nature, it was all nature poetry, and going out and like homesteading, like that type of poetry. And I really liked it when I was in elementary school. And I thought that if I slept with it under my pillow, I would have dreams of living in a log cabin, like my Lincoln logs, and living in the forest. And that was like my way of like, I want to have dreams like that. So that's interesting. So Angela was saying, with the clinking of the coins, it sounds nostalgic over the microphone. It sounds so good. Ooh, let's do more ASMR. All right. let's see. Do we have any other super chat, super stickers? It's okay if we don't, because we'll go into that empowering meditation then. And while I have some water, don't forget tomorrow, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. We have a new channeling coming out, and this is channeling, you know. Yeah, so if you guys want to definitely check that out, it was interesting. We connected to a negative polarity being that was on an ascension path, or is on an ascension path, and is working on ascending out of the cube matrix, but while choosing the negative polarity. And if you're wondering, like, what is that even about? We did a channeling on negative polarity ascension, because at first, we might think, well, the negative polarity, they can't ascend, but like, why can't they? They're just a different polarity than us, or those that are of a positive polarity. So if you're interested, definitely check out the negative polarity ascension, but also tomorrow, checking out the and what was that all about? We're always wondering, like, what is the deeper, what are the other layers? There's always more layers. So what are those other layers? Like, why did certain people choose that? Why did certain people not choose it? What does it do physically? What does it do spiritually? Where is our sovereignty in this? Whatever our choice was, where is our sovereignty in it? And I think the being did a pretty good job in its point of view and explanation, but of course, every entity is going to have their own point of view. So it's just other information for you to meditate on, keeping an open mind, whether these beings are negative or positive or neutral or wherever they are, they all have their own biases, they have their own points of view, but it's nice to take it in and run it through your own filter and see what that means for you. So check it out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay, so we have a couple more super chats. All right, we have the Dirty Work says, how to stay firm yet loving when breaking cycles. All right, so we'll take a look at that. And then Kamara says, why do I have such a strong obsession with Atlantis? It's almost absurd. All right, we will definitely look at that then. Okay. So let's pull another card. So Dirty Work, how to stay firm yet loving when breaking cycles. Let's do it. Let me just put this on my lap. My legs are starting to get cold. There we go. Ooh, we have, for Dirty Work, January's rebirth. And we have the rebirth as the keyword there. We have this person who is indoors. Looks like they've been doing a bit of journaling. And, our little four-legged and feathery friends and tree friends, and everybody's just outside. She's just meditating on them. So let's go inwards with this. Let's see what else we can gather. Okay. Yeah, maybe I do need to cut out the keywords because I get way more from the picture than I do any of this stuff down here. Okay. So when you're going in to your healing, whether you're breaking cycles, you're transmuting energy, first and foremost, we go in with the higher perspective. We go in understanding that, let's say for instance, we are going in to heal something, and it's going back to when my parents broke one of my toys or something like that. Instead of going into through the point of view of you when you're a child, which may still have all that anger, still being upset. I'm upset about my parents breaking my toy. It made me very upset, and it makes it very hard for me to forgive my mother and father for doing that. And maybe I could try to see the lesson, but the feelings are still there. I'm still very upset about what happened. Instead, we go in with this higher perspective of, okay, if everything is energy, which we've been talking about, earlier in the chat, and I am an energetic being, my mother and father, take away their labels. These are two other energetic beings. They created something energetically, hence the breaking of the toy, that made this being feel a particular way. What were those two beings at a soul level, not talking about mother and father level, but at soul level, what were they trying to teach me, this other soul? And again, we're just out from the outside, just like this person. We're just looking, we're just observing. And I'm no longer placing anger or blame onto the label of mother and father. I'm just looking at why these two energies, why I brought them in, because we're energetic, so we're attracted to each other, right? And why they've done this thing. And in that, it's easier for me to look at it through loving eyes, because I see that everything was being done for me, that I brought this in. I wasn't a victim. I brought this in to teach me something. And thank you, those two other souls that played the role of quote unquote bad guy in that point in time, they did that for me. They were like, I'm going to be the bad guy right now because you said that you wanted to learn a lesson. I'm here to teach you that lesson. And that's all done out of love. It might be hard to see when we're just looking at people in their physical vessels and we have the labels of mother, father, aunt, uncle, brother, best friend, whatever it may be. But we take away those labels and all of a sudden it's just the energies. What were the energies trying to help me with on my life's mission? And so when you're saying, how do I stay firm yet loving when, breaking these cycles, it's understanding that these were just situations that they're neither good nor bad. It's our label. And sometimes it's harder for us to forgive. It's harder for us to, break those cycles, to show love to ourselves, show love to other people if we're labeling it bad. It's just a lot more difficult. But if there is no label and it's like, oh, that's a thing that happened. It made me feel a kind of way, but why did it make me feel that kind of way? What was I meant to learn? What were those two souls trying to show me? Wow, thank you. All right, let's transmute that energy. I don't need to hold on to it, that negative energy anymore. I can just transmute it because now I've learned the lesson and I feel lighter. I don't need to hold on to it anymore. Boom, transmuted. We've brought that transmuted energy into our being. I've forgiven all the people involved. I show gratitude for all of those people, and I've forgiven myself, and I show love to myself because I'm the other part of that equation. And that's how we stand firm, number one, in our sovereignty. We stand in our power because we say, I have the power to heal this, and you're doing it with love. So there is no anger. There's no, I hate this person, or I'm still angry about this person. It's not the person, it's the soul, it's the energy. What were they here to help me with? And that is all. And like I said, when we look at things with labels, sometimes they play the quote unquote bad guy. Sometimes they're the villain. Sometimes they're the good guy. Sometimes they're the savior, whatever it may be. But it's just the role that soul is playing. So let's not look at the role. Let's look at the soul. Here we go. We're rhyming. So I hope that makes sense to you. Hello, Nick, coming in. Hey, welcome. Silver Star talking about doing the super chats. All right, so thank you. Yes, our friend Kamar is next. Okay, why do I have such a strong obsession with Atlantis? All right, almost to the point of absurdity, you say. All right, Kamar, let's see. First, let's tap into your energy, my friend. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'll pull a card too, but when I was tapping into your energy, it looked like, and this is just symbolic, but it looked like that the world had split in half, like the Atlantean world. and that it's like the earth shifted and was like like it was these two halves. But like I said, that's just symbolic, maybe symbolic of seeing a splitting of consciousness, one consciousness, one type, I guess, wanting to go this way, another type of consciousness wanting to go this way. And it seemed like at the time, you being like a very young energy, almost like a child like energy at the time, witnessing this. And since you weren't so locked in to like things have always been this way, you were more accepting about like with this change. And the reason Atlantis has been coming up, like you said, almost to the levels of the absurdity, is because perhaps at a subconscious level, that's what you feel is going on right now. Then maybe our world isn't splitting in half, like physically, but you are feeling like there is this like divide where some people are choosing to behave this way or think this way, or maybe they want to do this or that with their consciousness, whereas other people are wanting to do something different. And somehow you're seeing that these two halves of people or two different consciousnesses are having trouble seeing eye to eye. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what people are doing on their life's mission right now. Some people are deciding, I want to maybe expand my consciousness this way. Other people are saying, I want to restrict my consciousness. And maybe that's what they need to do in this particular lifetime at a soul level. And so um, instead of shunning one side or the other, which it seems like in Atlantis, you didn't really shun one side or the other because you were so young. You were just accepting that this is how things were going. Whereas the adults, or seem kind of like adults, in this past were losing their minds. They're like, oh my God, like the world is ending. What's happening? We got these people. They just like, they're crazy. They can't see what I see. Like they just don't want to see. And I don't know why they're not doing this. Whereas the other half is like, wow, these people, like they are Looney Tunes. They're talking about things that I do not understand. I don't want to understand, And so like both sides just not wanting to come together, where the young child that you were at the time understood that both sides were indeed correct, so to speak. They were just in their own reality, and that it was okay for one reality to not understand the other reality, but to understand we are all those people. I am those both of those halves. How are those two halves also me? Where am I sometimes like this, and where am I sometimes like this? And that's actually pretty wise for what seems like a young childlike energy that I see for you in Atlantis. It's just I'm not choosing sides. I just want to observe. I want to observe this group over here, and I could see myself with them. But also, when I observe this group, I see myself in them. And so it's using them like your teachers at the time more than I need to pick a side. I got to pick my sports team. You were looking at them, yeah, they were just your teachers, just like your parents were your teachers and your actual teachers were teachers. But this was a teachable moment for you. And so it seems like this has been coming up for you in the present as well, of feeling like people are somehow splitting. There's this group over here and this group over here. But now, instead of feeling pressured to choose a side, what can I learn from this? How am I that group, but I'm also that group? They may have opposing belief systems and points of view and how they view reality, but maybe it helps me to understand what reality I've created for myself. And so this is all about you creating your own unique reality, separate from this side and this side, which if you continue to tap into your Atlantean self, I think is really going to help you with that, help you gain some clarity. Of course, I won't do it for you, but help you to at least gain some clarity so you can figure out what choices you want to make here in the present moment. Okay, so I said that I also was going to pull a card too. But maybe it's just going to be for confirmation. Yes, rewilding with Grandmother Moon, and it says rewilding. Yeah, so I see this, there's two halves. There's this side of the river, there's this side of the river. But what do? You're looking at your intuition here, and you're deciding, what reality do I want to create? Why do I have to choose the side of the river to be on? Why can't I be this lone wolf over here, just doing its thing, making my own reality. Because as you can see, no matter how much somebody yells at the other person until they're blue in the face, they're never going to see that other person's reality. Why? Because they've created their own reality. And it's very hard for somebody else to see that because they're not the one that created it. We did. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Dirty Work, you are very welcome. Silver Star welcoming in our friend Nick. And Dirty Work said, thank you so much. This helps. I've done it before. I can do it again. That was incredibly special and so necessary today. Hugs. Hugs to you as well. Thank you. All right. So Easy Does It said, okay, why am I always counting numbers and letters? Okay, so let's pull a card on that as well. I'm always counting numbers and letters. Okay. So tapping into your energy, like straight away, I'm taken to you back when you're in school, like elementary school. And it's showing that in school, they actually teach us to find patterns in things, so whether we're doing a crossword puzzle, or not a crossword puzzle, but like a word search, where it's like the word all of a sudden just appears and all this jumble of letters, all of a sudden it's like, aha, a word appeared. Or sometimes like in elementary school when our teachers would do like fun things with math where you play around with the numbers and you can actually create something really fun and unique. And that is because to some degree, we're being taught that our world that we live in is also made up of patterns and numbers and letters, and that sometimes we have to look a little bit more deep than just the surface to be able to see those patterns. So it seems like consciously right now, you're at your consciousness level, you're continuing to look past face value of somebody says, the sky is blue. Well, actually, the sky is chemtrailed right now. Okay, it says the sky is blue, and it's blue because most of the planet is ocean, and it's just a reflection, and it makes the sky blue. Maybe for a time you sat there and was like, okay, well, if that's what the teacher said, then, and the teacher's always right, then that's why the sky is blue. But then maybe you've been lately looking at it a little bit more deeply. And perhaps through the numbers and the letters, it's helping you to see beyond the answers that you've been initially given. The ego answers. The ego answer says that's why the sky is blue. But then we say, no, maybe it's blue because in my reality, I've created it blue. Or maybe that's just representative of a frequency that the entire planet is working on. What's blue? The throat chakra. What do we struggle with on this planet? Communication. Maybe the sky is blue because it's literally the matrix, or maybe my own soul trying to remind me that the one major chakra that I really need to utilize at this time is my throat chakra. I need to speak my truth more. I need to work on my communication, both with others and with my higher self. So I just kept seeing like that, yes, like you really picked up on this in school, that there's more, that in that jumble, there are words, there are messages being shown to you. And that numbers are not just the way that we've been taught to use them. And, whether they were, doing vortices and parabolas and quadratic equations and whatnot, looking at obtuse triangles. Why are they so obtuse? But there's more to it, that these numbers, at least within this matrix, they mean something. These letters, they mean something. And the something that's coming through is coming from outside of this place, and it seems like that's what your consciousness is trying to really put together now is, where I said that everybody gets their intuition in different ways. Some people feel it in their bodies. Sometimes it's just a knowing, it's an image in their mind. For you, it seems like you're getting a lot of your intuitive hits through what other people would just see as a jumbled mess of letters. Or, I saw number 4, who cares? But that number 4 means something to you because that's literally your intuition speaking to you. It just happens to be using numbers and letters. And where does that intuition come from? It comes from outside of the box, but it's using the box to help you to see it. So within the box, we notice letters, we notice numbers. So utilizing it in that way, but what's coming through it is your own intuition. So let's pull a card on that too. Let's see. Okay, we have November Sanctuary. Sanctuary. And this kind of looks like, I guess, it'd be you just looking out and you're noticing the patterns in the trees, the patterns in the grass, the patterns in the stars. And you're using those very 3D things to be able to access your intuition. So is this the only way you're going to access your intuition? No, but it's just one way. And I feel like as we're ready to access that sixth sense, that intuition, that thing that is beyond the matrix's 5 senses, which our friend Graham was talking about earlier, that this is just another piece of the puzzle. So for you right now, you're just accessing it, like I said, through those letters and numbers. Maybe next you won't need the letters and numbers. The intuition directly just comes to you. It'll just be apparent. So, Easy Does It says, I kind of thought some of this. Wow. So yeah, definitely hope that makes sense. Silver Star was actually commenting on the sky. She said, the real color of the sky, bluish purple. However, the cone cells in our eyes that detect color aren't very sensitive to violet, so we see the sky as blue. But then we might also ask, why have we created a reality in which our eyes cannot see violet? Why is that? And where is the healing and the learning in that? Why can I not see the full spectrum? Like, let's say hummingbirds can, they see a spectrum of color that we don't see, but maybe it's not impossible. It's just part of the matrix program. Maybe I could see like a hummingbird. Maybe I could see the violets in the sky. What is it that I need to heal from, or what program do I need to remove in order to see more colors? Easy Does It, you are very welcome. Thank you, guys. I think that's everybody. Did I get everybody? All right. Okay. Alrighty then. Maybe, let's see. Let's hold on to one of these. I'm gonna hold on to my buffalo and my gold and silver here. Yeah, let's hold on to these. Let's do our guided meditation. And our friend Angela, who had a great idea, said, let's do it on taking back our power or our sovereignty. I flipped it around a little bit. Let's be reminded that we never lost our power or our sovereignty. Let's just be reminded that it's there. It's always been there. Angela said this live has been amazing. Well, yay! I'm glad you guys like it. I like hanging out with you guys, Okay, let me move this camera so that you guys maybe have a view of the creek. Whoa. And let me move over to the side a little bit so you guys have a more beautiful view. There we go. There we go. Okie dokie. Let me stop moving this thing around. All right. So let's get ready for this guided meditation. So go ahead and find a nice, comfortable place where you will not be disturbed for the next several minutes. You could be laying on your bed, sitting on a chair, perhaps sitting on the floor, maybe up against a tree. Any place that's comfortable for you. And as you start to situate yourself, really start to feel your arms getting heavy, your legs, just feeling nice and relaxed, perhaps a little roll from side to side with your head and neck. And let's bring our awareness to our breath. Let's check in with our breath at this time. Does your breath feel shallow? Does it feel deep? How fast are you breathing? We're just observing, just taking a look at where we are currently. And now let's be a little bit more conscious of our inhales and our exhales. As you inhale, let's inhale in through the nose. Where do you feel it? Do you feel it rush past your throat, down into your lungs? Do you feel it get stuck in the middle of your chest, or do you feel it move down into your diaphragm, down to your tippy toes, or perhaps straight on into Mama Gaia? How and where do you feel it? And as you exhale, where do you feel this exhale from? Perhaps we want to exhale from our mouth. Do you make a sighing sound? Do you feel that coming in from underneath your feet? Or perhaps you feel it just in your chest, your lungs, maybe in your throat? We're going to take a few cleansing breaths. First, I want you to place your awareness around your head and your face. Do you feel any tension? Do you feel any stiffness or anxiety somewhere around your head? What we're going to do is take a nice deep breath into our head. And when we exhale, we're going to exhale forcefully. And we're going to let out all of that tension. Just let go of it. We're going to do this again for our torso, for our arms. And I want you to, as you inhale, bring those shoulders up towards your ears, up as high as they'll go, raising them up. And as you exhale, drop those shoulders. And continue in this way, inhaling, bringing the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, let it all go. Let your shoulders just drop. Let your arms drop. We're letting go of all of that tension. We don't need it. Not here, not now. And keep breathing into the various parts of your body, working your way all the way down to your toes, just breathing in and letting it go. We want to get ourselves nice and relaxed. And as you continue allowing yourself to relax more and more, I want you to visualize with me. I want you to visualize that you are standing in the most beautiful place that you could ever imagine. Maybe that place is a forest. Maybe it's a palace. Maybe it's in the ocean. This is you and your personal, beautiful, magical place. I want you to look at it in as much detail as possible. Do you feel wind on your skin? Is there a scent in the air? Could you almost taste the sweetness that surrounds you? What do you hear? Are there children laughing? Are there birds? What do you hear? Allow your senses to make this little world come alive to you. And as you look around, taking in the beauty and the magic of this place, I want you to visualize a being standing before you. Think of the strongest, most powerful being you can think of. Maybe this being exists in outer space. Maybe they exist outside the cube. Maybe it's an animal. Maybe you see your grandparent. Who or what is the bravest, strongest, most powerful being you can think of, and have that being stand before you now? How do you feel right now in the presence of this being? Do you feel intimidated? Do you feel joy? What are you feeling in this moment? And don't disregard these feelings. These feelings have something to tell us quite a lot about ourselves. This being that you have created, that stands before you, the strongest, bravest, most powerful thing you could think of, that's you. It always has been you. But perhaps at some point along your journey, you externalized it. And you said, that's something else, but that something isn't me. But today we're going to reintegrate that part of you that is truly you. And think about those feelings you initially had when you saw this being, whether it was feelings of joy and elation, maybe love, maybe it was feelings of fright or worry or anxiety. These feelings have a lot to teach us about ourselves. And they can show us where we can still heal. If you felt fright when you saw this being, even though you know this being is strong and powerful, brave, why did you fear it? And now we ask ourselves, why do I fear this part of myself? If I felt anxious, why does this part of myself bring me anxiety? And this is not to reprimand yourself in any way, but keeping an open mind, a broader perspective. Where did that come from? Who taught me to fear this? Where did I integrate this feelings of anxiety? Or perhaps where did I learn to love this portion of myself? Where did I learn to feel joy when I see this portion of myself? And you can take all the time you need, maybe just visiting one of these emotions, perhaps saving the others for another meditation, or visiting them now. The choice is up to you. And if you have any questions at this time for this being that stands before you, go ahead and ask them. Ask this being, which is you in actuality, how did we become separated? How did I view you as something outside of myself? At what point did I become fearful of you? At what point did I begin to love you from afar? What can you tell me about myself? What can you tell me about my true strength, my true power, my sovereignty? Maybe you can show me where I have given my sovereignty away. Maybe where I have given my power away, no matter how small it may be. Where did I give it away? Perhaps it wasn't in big gestures. Maybe it was little by little. Maybe I gave them away to my teachers. Maybe I gave them away to my grades or the amount of money in my bank account. Maybe I gave it away to authority figures. Where have I given my power, my sovereignty away? And when you have finished asking your questions and receiving your answers, and by all means, take your time, we are going to reintegrate ourselves. So we are going to come forward as this being comes forward, and we are going to embrace this being as they become one with us once again. Allow that being to fully enter back into you. One beautiful light instead of two. And how does it make you feel? Again, take note. Feelings to explore for a later date. But when you are ready, be reminded that you can come back to this meditation at any time. You can speak to this aspect of yourself at any time, any questions that may come up. Think about the feelings that came up and know that you will come back to them when you are ready. And bring your energy back into your body, wiggling your fingers and toes. And maybe have yourself a little stretch. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Wow. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for everybody who offered their guidance with the weekly reading and for everything that we were doing. Thank you for joining me on this gold and silver chat journey. And everybody who got super chats and super stickers with me, thank you for allowing me to read for you and to connect to your energy. Thank you to my mighty moderators and everybody who was in the chat today, all of the subscribers, all you guys, you know I love you. And yeah, and everybody who popped in while we were doing the meditation as well. Hey. Silver Star says, what a wonderful day to spend together with gratitude and hugs for each one of us. Thank you for being you. Thank you, Tara. Love you, Cheeky. Love you too. Love you guys. And to our friend Samurai who came in at the end, hello. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. And have a fabulous week. I will catch you guys next time. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.